were called and the right to remain silent. Did you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand by entering this plea bargain agreement you were giving up those rights?
Yes, ma'am.
And did you intend to give up those rights and enter into a plea bargain agreement in this case?
Yes, ma'am.
Counsel, has your client been able to provide you with any defenses to this offense?
Yes, Your Honor.
Do you believe he has a rational as well as a factual understanding of the charges against him?
Yes.
Do you believe he's currently competent and was legally sane at the time of the offense?
Yes.
Mr. Munoz, has anyone threatened you, coerced you, or placed you in fear to get you to enter this plea?
No, ma'am.
Has anyone promised you anything other than the plea bargain agreement to get you to enter this plea?
No, ma'am.
Are you satisfied with the way you've been represented?
Yes, ma'am.
Are you a U.S. citizen?
Yes, ma'am.
Court will find that defendant has knowingly and voluntarily waived his right to jury trial. Next, I'm showing you the plea bargain page. Did you review that page with your attorney? And did
Yes,
you
ma'am.
understand it?
Yes, ma'am.
According to the, According to the plea bargain agreement, the state is proceeding on the lesser included offense of possession of a controlled substance, penalty group 1, less than 1 gram. They're asking that your punishment be assessed under 12.44 of the penal code to 105 days in the Bexar County Jail. Did you understand that to be the plea bargain agreement?
Yes, ma'am.
Defense, is that the plea bargain agreement?
Yes, Your Honor.
State, is that the plea bargain agreement?
Yes, Judge.
Next, I'm showing you the paragraph entitled Waiver of Appeal. Did you review that paragraph with your attorney? Did you
Yes.
understand it, and did you electronically sign it in both places?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand by signing that you're waiving your right to appeal? The only items that can be appealed are written pretrial motions that have been filed, heard, and ruled upon by the court. Did you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Counsel, are there been any such motions?
No, Your Honor.
We're going to go off the record for a moment. Mr. Oscar Hernandez, please go to breakout room number 1, and could someone from Criminal Trial Division discuss this case with him? Thank you. Then to the offense as charged, the lesser included offense of possession of a controlled substance, penalty group 1, less than 1 gram. Mr. Munoz, how do you plead? Guilty, not guilty, or no contest?
No contest.
State any evidence to support the defendant's plea.
Yes, State Offer States Exhibit 1 and its attachments.
Any objections?
No objection, Your Honor.
Mr. Munoz, I'm showing you a document entitled Waiver and Consent to Stipulation of Testimony and Stipulations. Did you review that document with your attorney? Did you understand it, and did you electronically sign it in all the appropriate places?
Yes, Your Honor.
Again, did you understand you have a right to jury trial, a right for you or your attorney to cross-examine and confront any witnesses the state would call them the right to remain silent?
Yes, Your Honor.
Did you understand that today the state will be presenting evidence in the form of witnesses' statements and police reports, but most importantly, there will be no live testimony? Did you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Court will find that defendant has knowingly and voluntarily waived and consented to stipulation of testimony and stipulations. Court will accept into evidence states exhibits 1 and attachments and review the same. All right, after reviewing states exhibits 1 and attachments, the court will find there is sufficient evidence to find you guilty, and the court will find you guilty. Are we proceeding with sentencing?
Yes, Your Honor.
Is there anything you wish to say on behalf of your client?
We just ask that you give him credit for the time he served and
Right,
proceed with sentence.
Is it going to be a judgment satisfied or no?
Yes, Your Honor.
Yes,
All
Judge.
right, the court will follow your plea bargain agreement, sentence you to 105 days in the Bexar County Jail under 12.44 of the Penal Code, give you credit for any time served, and the court will show that the judgment is satisfied. Next, Mr. Munoz, I'm showing you a document entitled Trial Court Certification of Defendant's Rights to Appeal. Did you review that document with your attorney? Did you understand it, and did you electronically sign it?
Yes, ma'am.
Because this is a plea bargain agreement, because I followed your plea bargain agreement, and because you waived your right to appeal, you do not have the court's permission to appeal. Do you understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
And because this is a felony conviction, you're not allowed to own or possess any weapons or ammunition. Do you understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, we can go off the record. Mr. Munoz, how old are you?
I just turned 29 years old, ma'am, on the 3rd of February.
All right, Mr. Munoz, you know what happens when people continue to use drugs, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Either they end up spending a life in prison or either they don't make it. Right?
Yes,
So
you're right.
time for you to make a decision. How long have you been in jail for over 105 days? I'm sure. Well, maybe not, but I'm assuming that you have not been using drugs while you've been in jail.
No, I haven't, Your Honor.
Right. So here's the thing about heroin and the bad thing about heroin. I watch a lot of television. I watch a lot of documentaries. So the guy from, what is his name? Stephen, who's the guy who sings with the band? His name is Stephen. First name is Stephen. Oh my gosh, you're not helping me any.
Man,
It's Steven Tyler. There you go. Well, what's the name of the band from Steven Tyler?
Aerosmith.
Aerosmith.
Oh, okay.
You know Aerosmith. So,
Yeah, I listened to some of his songs.
well, if you, VH1 used to have these documentaries about bands and how they were, it was the 80s, everybody was using all these drugs. I think it was either Cinderella or some group that was even shooting alcohol in their veins. Like, who does this, right?
Yeah.
So he started using heroin a lot. And he said he thought he was going to die. And so the entire band had to go into rehab because you can't have one person who's in rehab and the rest of the band is still using, right?
Yes, ma'am.
So he said he hasn't used heroin for years. But to this day, when he hears about somebody who's overdosed from heroin, he said the first thing that clicks in his mind is, man, that must have been some good heroin. I should find out where, who made that. And then he says everything that he's learned kicks in and he's like, okay, Stephen, you can't do heroin. So I tell you that to say this. You are not actively in rehab. And I know more likely than not, time when you get out of the Bexar County Jail, you're going to be thinking, let me go get some heroin. I'm telling you right now, what should click on your brain after the first thoughts are, I should get some heroin. It should be, let me go to an NA meeting or somewhere, because what's going to end up happening is you're going to end up right back in here. You're going to end up spending your life in prison, and you're going to look up and you're going to see that you wasted like 60 years of your life on nonsense. That's my speech for the day for you. Do what you will with it, but I'm telling you, do not get out of the Bexar County Jail and go straight to using drugs, okay?
Okay, Your Honor, thank you.
All right, good luck to you.
Mm-hmm.
Norma, he can go back. Ms. McClellan, thank you so much for your patience.
Thank you. May I be excused?
Yes.
Thank
All right, who are the prosecutors on Eric Baker's client? Zepeda?
Garcia.
Correct. Yes.
Think I'm done.
Yes. No, Mr. Zepeda, you are not done.
Your Honor, am I excused?
Someone will remove you. Just wait, okay?
Okay.
Mr. Zepeda, I'm going to need you to unmute.
There we go.
Court is calling 2015 CR 7848 State of Texas versus Juan Pete Zepeda. If we're going to have parties announced for the record, please, for the state,
Joe Ray Garcia for the state.
for the defense.
Eric Baker from Mr. Zapata, who's present via Zoom, Your Honor.
All right, we're proceeding by video because of the pandemic. Any objections from the state?
No, Your Honor.
Any objections from the defense?
No, Your Honor.
Mr. Zepeda, I'm showing you a document entitled Defendant's Consent to Appear by Video. Did you review that document with your attorney? Did you understand it and did you electronically sign it?
Yes, I did.
Court will find that defendant has knowingly and voluntarily consented to appear by video. Next, I'm showing you a document entitled Motion to Revoke Community Supervision. Did you review that document with your attorney and did you understand it?
Yes, I did.
Are you the same Juan Pete Zepeda who was placed on community supervision in 2015 CR 7848 for the offense of assault family second offense on July 18, 2016 for a period of 5 years? Is that you?
Yes, it is.
State?
Violated condition number 41 on or about the 9th day of July, 2020. Bexar County, Texas, the defendant Juan Pete Zepeda then failed to comply comply with the rules and regulations of felony drug court, in that he failed to appear for court in violation of condition number 41.
How do you plead to that? True or not true?
True.
State,
The state waives the remaining allegations, Your Honor.
any objections?
No objection.
Mrs. Zepeda, did you understand by pleading true to violation of condition number 41, the court could find it true, grant the motion?
Yes, I do, Your Honor.
Wait, just one moment.
I'm sorry.
Someone else did this plea. It's from 2017. So I need to find what your underlying,
Could be 5 years, Your Honor.
That's my understanding also, Judge.
all right, just one moment. Let me check the judgment. All right, Mrs. Zepeda, did you understand by pleading true to violation of condition number 41, the court could find it true, grant the motion, sentence you to 5 years in prison and up to a $1,500 fine? Did you understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
Knowing that, do you still wish to plead true to violation of condition number 41?
Yes.
Court will find violation of condition number 41 true. Is there an agreement?
Yes, Your Honor. Revocation and reform the sentence to 4 years TDC.
All right, this defendant needs to be in the courtroom.
But Judge, yes, I did want to address the court on his report date. I do have an agreement with the state subject to the court's approval, if I could be heard on that quickly, briefly, I mean.
All right.
So Judge,
when-
oh, go ahead.
Yes, go ahead. I'm sorry.
So I had talked to the state in reaching this agreement, and one of the things they're okay with, and I'm hoping the court is that Mr. Zepeda be able to report on the 31st. And here's why, Judge. He has, during his timeout, started an auto repair business, which he's there now. It's his. He has 4 clients whose cars are in his shop in a state of being taken apart. And if he goes now and leaves those, he'll get sued. His clients will have they won't be able to get their car back together, their car out. So he just needs the time to finish those repairs. The state's okay with it, so I hope the court would grant him that time to report.
All right, as previously stated, the court is finding violation of condition number 41 true, and this will be recalled for, Norma, can we recall this back for March 31st?
I'm sorry. Yes, ma'am.
All right, we'll come back on March 31st for sentencing.
Thank you, Judge. I appreciate that.
All right. And Mr. Zepeda, you need to be in the, we're still on the, let's go back on the record. Mr. Zepeda, you need to be in the courtroom on March 31st at 9 a.m. You need to unmute. Do you understand?
Yes, Your Honor. Understood.
It's the 187 District Court. It's 4th floor of the Kadena Reeves Justice Center, 300 De La Rosa, San Antonio, Texas, 78205. Do you understand?
Yes, I do.
All right, with that, we'll close the record. And you're excused.
Okay.
All right, Mr. Baker, we'll see you back at that time.
Thank you, Judge. I appreciate that. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
And
And
Judge,
everyone, we're going to end up taking our break. I'm about to close the breakout rooms.
I just conferred with Oscar. I think it'll be a quick, if you want to. If not, obviously I'll be here either way.
All right, if you guys do the paperwork.
It's not a plea, Judge. It's a PR.
Okay, what is the agreement?
There is no agreement. It's a PR bond application. She looks eligible. 1 family violence dismissed. State is not in agreement because she's got some criminal history. Defense is, I think, requesting that you grant the motion.